Welcome back to another Hearts of Iron 4 mod spotlight, and this time we will be looking at Increased Resources event. Now, this is essentially a new version of a mod that was already on the Steam Workshop, which is called Extended Resources, or Expanded Resources, I believe. Or maybe Increased, I don't know, something like that, which is very popular. It essentially increases the amount of resources that are found everywhere across the world in historical quantities based on the production that each state actually had historically. And what this mod does is, instead of giving it by default to the countries as the game loads in the file, essentially in the game files, is it creates an event to give all of the resources. This does not only leave the option of having a customized version of it, which essentially halves the quantity it gives. So as you can see, let me have them but not too much. Then I don't want any extra resources, just does not use it. But also lets you use this mod along with other mods that change states, because normally what would happen is that the mod would conflict with essentially what Hearts of Iron 4 would normally do with the states, because it overwrites a lot of files, and then once you mod it and you have another mod that changes the states, then there's conflict. And so now you can actually use the mod along with other mods, which is a very, very welcome addition for someone like me who uses a crap-a-load of mods. So I'm just gonna pan around and you kind of look at it, the resource changes, just in case you don't know what it does. Probably one of the most important parts, just to showcase it, is Africa. As you can see, they added a lot of production of various different resources to various parts of Africa, which is pretty useful, because if you're going to be fighting over these lands, well, you'd better get rewarded for it. And then also the fact that there is any just resources on this territory is already a start from the standard game, because in the standard game obviously there would be no resources in Africa, almost none at least. A few more in the Middle East, especially a lot in Persia, which is great. And then there's a few more in South America, I believe, which again was badly needed. Especially Brazil was very, very lacking compared to historically in the resource department. Argentina seems to have gotten a bit of a nice boost as well. Bolivia definitely got a lot of tungsten that didn't have earlier, which is nice, because normally in the game, I believe the only source of tungsten that would be kind of reliable would be Portugal. So, yeah. And then Central America got a few boosts here and there as well. Cuba got quite a lot of chromium, which, well, useful if you're going to be building battleships, but really, nobody needs chromium in that ridiculous amount of quantities. And then I believe China got more as well. So let's go over to Asia, panning over. India got a few more, obviously. Definitely an improvement. Tibet got a few, and a nice quantity of resources in China, which I believe normally in the game would only be producing steel, especially a lot from the Guangxi Click. Look at that. That's a lot of resources that you can get out of that territory. And also a few more from Siam, which didn't get quite that bad of a treatment in the standard game, but that's still nice to see. And I believe a few more in Korea, which is going to be helping Japan out a little bit more. Maybe a bit more in Central Asia, it looks like it, but of course the Soviet Union didn't really need any more resources from the vanilla, so at least that's fine. And again, the Middle East vastly improved. Turkey still has all that chromium. The ridiculous amount of tungsten and chromium in Greece got kind of changed around, which is nice. They have a lot more aluminum now. Yugoslavia still has aluminum. Italy has a bit more. France has a ton more steel. Like, an incredible amount more steel than in normal game. That was actually one of the main problems of France in a standard game. But also, I believe a few oil fields in Galicia, which are quite historical and important. And then a bit more steel in the UK, I believe. That steel was not there in the standard game, I don't believe. So yeah, I think Yes, pretty similar for Scandinavia, but obviously they weren't exactly resource poor in the normal game as well. And so what this should do for your game is it should help out some of the more minor resources that minor nations that would normally not be allowed to really expand their industry because of their resources, expand their production, obviously. And then it should also help a few of the majors that got kind of screwed over by the vanilla, and then also a few of the states which were very, very important in certain types of resource production, such as obviously Brazil is the uh, biggest contender in this case, but also Iran does have quite a lot of resources missing in the standard game, etc., etc., and it does help them give them the historical importance that they should have in Hearts of Iron 4. And so I definitely recommend you to actually try out this mod. The link will be in the description. And as always, the credit goes to the modder. I did not make this. I want to thank you all for watching. I hope you will be trying it, and I'll see you soon.